Hello and welcome to my channel, The Complete CSC Guide, and I am Sanskriti, your guide. So now in today's class, first of all I want to thank you all for giving me so much support that today I have my channel have been monetized, and this is the Google AdSense which I have received, and this is all due to you all people, and I really want to thank you all from my heart. And you have given me so much support in a very short period of time that today I have received this one, and thanks to you all. Now today second thing is I have received some of your comments that you want to know about something about me, which I will obviously tell you today, and something about your examinations have been coming, your semester examinations are also coming. So you want to know about the different tricks whatever should be used to give a good PPT presentation, right? That is your slideshow presentation. So I will give you some tricks which I have used in my examination. Before that, let me tell you something about me. You know my name Sanskriti, and my full name is Sanskriti Nandi, and I have done my BTech and MTech. I am an MTech engineer, and my department was CSC, that is your Computer Science and Engineering. And I have also passed the GATE examination as well as the pre-GATE examination. Now I have done job in so many colleges also, that is the assistant lecturership. But from this YouTube, whenever I started this YouTube, after that I am totally engaged with this YouTube only. So because I like to give videos related to different topics of my computer science and engineering, and I hope we will proceed in a nice way. And the main thing is that in my examinations, in my semester examinations of my MTech examinations, I have achieved 10 point, that is the whole marks, and I was the university topper for my MTech examinations. And at that time, whatever tricks or whatever techniques which I have used in my examination, obviously I will each and every point I will share with you, so that you can also get that kind of marks in your examination, full marks. Okay, so I have achieved that thing with the help of some tricks, which was obviously that tricks were only mine, but that's not some trick which is apart from studies. No, it is within your studies only. But how you can get those good marks? There was my PowerPoint presentation. There were two subjects basically, and the Grand Viva. I will tell you about the Grand Viva also, but I will tell you each and everything about examination which you can succeed in a very nice way. Okay, and in that MTech examination, MTech whole course, I have achieved more than 9. Okay, that is my I was a 9 pointer. So how you can get that particular marks? Okay, and how you can get those good marks, right? To become an topper or to become a university topper, it's not a huge deal. It's very simple, but you have to follow some tricks which you will be following very easily. You can follow that one. Okay, so from now onwards, I will give you the classes of computer science as usual, which I was giving in one day, and one day I will tell you some tips and tricks from my own experience, which will be only for you. Okay, so today, first of all, I am going to tell you about, we will start with the PowerPoint presentation, right? So whenever you are going to give a PowerPoint presentation of any topic, so two kinds of presentation which in my life I have given. First one, it was about a particular seminar, about a topic which was given to us in a particular examination, a particular semester, whether it was your first, second, third, whatever semester. So at that point of time, you were given some topic, right? And that particular topic, you have to tell about that thing, right? You have to tell about the whole, whatever thing you know about that one. And whatever we have been given the topics in my BTech and MTech semesters, that topics were unknown to us. That is, that topics were apart from our course. Okay, that is our BTech or MTech course. Whatever things we were used to study in the BTech or MTech course, the subjects, they were apart from them. Like I have got swarm intelligence, that is from artificial intelligence. I have got machine learning. At that time machine learning was not in our curriculum. So this kind of topics were given to us. Sometimes we were given 5G. Okay, so basically some topics which are apart from your studies or apart from your curriculum. So the main point I will tell you about how to make a presentation which will give you full marks, which you will be achieving the full marks. And what are the main points? So first of all, the thing which you have to see, it's what is your topic. First of all, see the topic, what have been given to you. Okay, what topic have been given to you. Now next is you have to break the topic. First of all, you have got the topic, study the whole topic. Okay, study and research. These are the two basic points which you have to do. First of all, get the topic, whatever topic has been given to you. First, you have to study about the topic. Maybe the topic is known to you, because nowadays we are apart from the curriculum also we are just learning different topics also. So maybe the topic is known to you, it's very good. If it's unknown to you, then you have not to get nervous. First of all, study about the topic. Get a good book from your library or take the help of your internet, and you have to study the whole thing. What is the thing? Okay, what is that particular thing? So you have to, first of all, you have to see what is that particular thing, right? Then second portion is your researching. Then you have to research about the topic. What is the thing? Now you have the whole idea there about the types of that particular thing, right? Like we have taken our OSI layers. Okay, so what is our OSI layers? What are the different layers? What is about the OSI layers? Now we are getting the different layers. Now these layers, each and every layer, they have their work, they have their task. Okay, so what kind of task they are doing? So each and everything, first of all, you just go through that particular thing. Then you have to do the research. What research? What kind of things have been done? What kind of experiments have been done? What kind of new things have been done on those topics? Is anything newer? Whatever things have been done nowadays, how they have been used, or what different kind, what other things are nowadays, how they are being used, or any new thing, any new experiment have been, invention have been done on those topics. Research about that one. Okay, you can give some ideas also that this kind of thing can be done in the future. That will be a positive point. Okay, so you have the topic, study and research is very important. Okay, whenever you are getting the topic, some people, what they do, they are getting the topic and they, first of all, they go to the internet and they search whatever slideshow have been given in the internet about PPT presentation about this topic, and they just download those particular slideshows or PPT, and just they go and study that one. They just go through that particular slideshow and they give that one to the seminar shows, whatever of their semester examinations. That's not correct. First of all, you have to make your own seminar show or your own PPT presentation. To download that one and to tell that one is not a correct way, right? Because why it's not a correct way? Since that person who had made that PPT, that person also have given some points of that particular PPT. Okay, that person have given some points, but he had not given the whole data. So it is not good to download and give someone other slide. You have to just see what is the topic, study that one, have the full knowledge of that topic. Maybe it will take 2 or 3 days, not more than that. Then you have to do research. What is the current inventions have been done on that topic, or anything have been done nowadays on that topic? Maybe no, maybe yes. So have a research on that thing. What thing have been done on that topic? So these two are basically very important when you have to go through the topic. Now we are going to start our slideshow. When you are going to start the PPT, you have to keep in mind that your PPT is a professional one. Okay, your PPT is a professional one. So you have not to give the choice of your color, the choice of your front. Everything should be like that only. It's a official one. So you have to keep that also in mind. Okay. Now, first slide, when you will be starting your slideshow, your PPT starting. Okay. Now, first slide is your name, whatever thing is there, your introduction, everything. From second slide, what you have to do, you are giving the topic as a whole, and the PPT should be like this, that whatever PPT you are making, first of all, the topic of your PPT, right, your semester examination, whatever name, that should be given here with your name, and you have to give the image of that particular thing, the particular topic which you are going to make, so that the person who is going to see your particular PPT, they will, first of all, they will have the idea. You have to try to give an image of whatever you are going to make. That's a good practice. Okay. Now, next is, your first slide is complete. Now, second slide will be having a particular index which will be having each and every point what is contained in your particular PPT. Apart from that point, no other points will be given, but those points will be on each and every slide. Whatever point you are mentioning, suppose what is OSI model, second I am going for the layers, each and every layers, third I am going for my physical layer, second for data, then for data link layer. So like this, so each and every point which you are including, that will be on single slide, right? These numbers will be on your slides also. Your first slide will be this one, second this, this, and try to, whatever you are, suppose you are writing this data link layer, to try to contain the whole data link layer, whatever topic you are giving here, in a particular slide. If some others are given, then you can continue, but try to make that in a particular slide only. Third point is, this is your index. This, whenever the person will see the index, they will see the whole topic. Now, you just show the index, tell them point by point, and then you go to the next slide. The person will have the idea about what is there in your slideshow. In some seminar show, what happens, in my life also that happened, that the person, they, due to some shortage of time, our roll number was in the last, so what they did in the first half, they just told us, just go to that particular slide and just explain that one. So it is also very important. Suppose you are in a group, what people do generally, when they are in a group of 5 people or maybe 4 people, so what they do, they just estimate the time within themselves, right? 15 minutes time have been given. So what they do, they just broke that 15 minutes within that particular people. You will tell 3 minutes, he will tell 3 minutes, I will tell 3 minutes, and I will tell this numbers of slide, he will tell this number of slide. No, never. You have to read the whole PPT presentation. Whenever you are in a group, try to make the whole PPT presentation sitting together, right? And try to learn the whole PPT presentation. You have to know each and every slide. These 3 slides are for me, okay? So I am going to learn these 3 slides only. Others are for others. That's of no use for me. No. You have to learn each and every slide of your PPT presentation. That is the main point. Many times what happened to me, I was in a group of 5 people, but at that time when they asked me to go to a particular slide, I just went to that slide, and at that particular point it was not of my slide, okay? 1 to 5 number was for someone else, 6 to 10, like that. But the slide presentation which had been given to me for explanation, that was of not my part. But since I have learned the whole slideshow, I gave them a good presentation and I got a standing ovation from them. So it's very important. But the people who was with me, they have only studied that much slide, that 2 to 3 slides. And when they were asked, they were not able to tell that one, because they told them, no, these are not for us. Our slide number is from that to that. So this is not a good practice. It's a very important trick that whenever you are given a seminar show or you are giving a PPT presentation, if it is for a group of people, you have to know that it's not a group of people, it's for me only. So you have to learn the whole thing. If the person who is coming, maybe you are at the point you are going to explain anything, but the person tells you, no, I want to see that slide, just explain that one. If you have the knowledge of each and every slide, you can easily tell them. But if you don't have the knowledge, then you have to stand there, and that will give you a negative mark. Okay, so you have to learn all the slides, learn the whole slideshow. Okay, whole slideshow or your PPT presentation. Each and every slide you have to know, you have the knowledge of each and every slide. Right now, this is about your index portion and about your whole PPT. Now what will be the next one? Next point is, try to make the slideshow not so lengthy. Okay, not lengthy. You have not to make the slideshow a lengthy one, right? Try to make the slideshow up to 15 slides is okay. You can ask the teacher also that what numbers of slides we can contain, or you can give up to 15 slides. It's a good slideshow, or 15 to 20, not more than that. If it's a group of 5, then 20 is okay. If it's a group of 4 or 3, then 15 is okay. Okay, and in that slideshow, what you have to do, you have not to write stories. What is stories? Suppose OSI model, now you are going on writing who had invented that one, what was the history of OSI models, the whole thing. No. Whenever you are going to make a perfect presentation, PPT presentation, you have to keep in mind the person who is going to see your PPT, he is not going to judge you on your stories. He will just see that your PPT should be point to point, that it is point wise. So if you are getting the OSI model, then study the whole OSI model. Okay, study the whole OSI model. Then afterwards, what you have to do, you have to see it is given in a story manner, like a whole definition. What you have to do, you just make points, each and every point. What is OSI? Then layers of OSI. Then each and everything is whatever functions are there, each and everything. Like you just write point wise and in a brief manner. So whenever you are writing a point wise OSI, your PPT presentation, what will happen when you are going to give the PPT presentation? At that time, if you forget any point, you can just look at the your PPT and you can get the point. And the point, if it's in front of you, you can easily give the whole explanation. Points will be on your PPT. No stories, no description, nothing will be in your PPT. First thing you have to keep in mind, you are not teaching someone, right? PPT presentation is not for a teaching purpose in your seminar show. It is for an examination purpose. The person who is in front of you, he is going to judge you that how much you know. Okay, but if you are giving a PPT presentation for your students, you are teaching someone, at that time it will be a full descriptive type, right? Why it will be descriptive type? Since from your PPT the person is going to jot down, right? They are going to see your PPT and the students, they are going to jot down something from your PPT. That will be of descriptive type. But here your PPT should be in a brief manner, right? It should be very brief, since you have to make it point wise, because the person who is there, he is not going to jot down anything from your PPT. He is going to see whether you are including all the points in your PPT or not, right? So make it a point wise. Just write the points, important points of your PPT, and make them in your write them on your PPT presentation. Okay, and try to just give the whatever description in your own words. The person who is sitting there, they will see that how much you know. If you have written something in your PPT and you are going on seeing that PPT and you are just learning that one, or you are just going on reading the whole stories, no, it's not a good practice. You will get a positive point, you will get a perfect full marks in your PPT. You can get that one if you just write the points. If you want to see, you just see the point, this point, then give your description in your own words. Description will be in your own words. That will be not on the slideshow, or that will be not on your PPT. only what is OSI model, that much. What is OSI model? Then you go on telling, okay, that what is the full form, open system interconnection, then what are the layers, each and every layer you just go on telling. There you just don't give the subsection, that is the sub points you are not going to give there. There only the main topic. In the slideshow, first slide will be about your topic, whatever topic you have been given, explain that one point wise, and whatever point you are writing, try to maintain the sequence, right? This point I am telling now I forget that point, so okay, third point I am going. No, you have to tell each and every point in a sequence manner. It's also very important. If you will learn the whole thing nicely, then it is very easy for you. It's not a rocket science, it's very easy for you. Okay, so this like this you have to make the slides. First one will be about the introduction of your topic. Okay, so introduction of your topic. Now this is the about your topic. Next will be about the subtopics. Just try, if subtopics are there, suppose the 7 layers, try to give each layer or each subtopic one slide so that you can describe them very nicely. Now in that slide, again write the points, just see the points and tell them the whole description in your own way, right? In your own words. That will be very good and it will give you a very positive mark, right? Since whenever I have taken the examinations of the students, I have also seen the same thing, that how they are presenting to me. Are they are reading the whole thing or they are giving the presentation in their own words? Just whole points are there in their slideshow and they are giving the definition by themselves. Whatever, how much you know, whatever thing you know, you just go on telling that one. One thing keep in mind, right? The person who is sitting there, if you will think that who is sitting there and he is a very huge, means his knowledge is very huge, he knows each and everything. Yes, he knows each and everything, obviously then he is judging you. But don't keep that in mind. You have to keep in your mind that whosoever are sitting there, they knows nothing. I am going to tell them about this topic. So you will tell them in a manner that how you are teaching them. You're just going to tell them in a manner from the point, starting point to the advanced point. That will make the sense. The person will know, yes, this person knows each and everything about the topic, and obviously it will give you a positive marks, right? So try to make your PPT in a very simple way, not make it a so complicated one. A simple one, but in a very descriptive manner, which will be described by you only. Okay, so whenever you are giving a particular slide to a particular subtopic, it will be very easy for you as well as the person to understand, and it will be very easy for you also. If in a particular slide you are going on giving so many subtopics, it will be complicated one. So try to give a single slide, a single subtopic. Then it will be very easier for you as well as the person who is judging you, the invigilator, right? And don't think the invigilator as a person who is going to just scold you. Okay, in a seminar show, no one scolds anyone. So in the seminar show, you have to give the knowledge from the basic to the advanced level. The person who is judging you will know that yes, this person have the whole knowledge of the particular topic, and this will obviously add to your points and you will get a good marks, right? And again, the thing which is very important apart from these things, right, again the thing is that you have to include images. Very important. Like OSI model you are giving, then you give the whole image of the OSI model, the layers, basically the layers. Again, if you are writing about the guided media or unguided media, each and everything, the fiber optics or each and everything which you are including, just give the images of those things. It's a very good practice. If you are giving the images, try to give the images of the topic so that the person who is judging you, they will understand. And if your images are there, from the image also you can explain many things. Obviously the OSI model you have to give the image. Again, guided media, you have to give the images. It's very important. Unguided media, you have to again give the images, right? So try to give the images of LAN, WAN, anything you are giving. Try to give the images so that you can explain. It will add to your points, right? Again, if some next point is your mathematical formulas, right? So mathematical formulas are also very important. If your slideshow doesn't have any mathematical formula, which I think it's not possible, because in our engineering courses each and everything is mathematics, based on mathematics. So mathematical formulas are very important. Some people, what they do, they try to skip that portion. But in my examination, when I was giving the seminar show of the swarm intelligence, at that time many formulas were there. So what I have done, I have kept those formula in my PPT, because I knew how to explain those formulas. And at that time when the slide came in which the formula was there, the invigilator who was there, he was an external, because he had came from the other college. So he told me to explain that particular formula in the board, not within my PPT. So whatever was written in the slideshow, whatever was written in the PPT, you can explain from the PPT whatever has been written. But you have to, when they are telling you that you write the whole formula in the board, apart from, you're not just going to see the PPT, you have to write the formula. What they see, that whether you have just learned those things, and the mathematical formula what had been given, you are just seeing and explaining, it's very easy. But when you are writing the mathematical formula by your own, at that time, whether you know that topic or not, it's a very good exam for that also. So I am telling you that if the external is coming, who is, maybe if he wants to judge you, or maybe he wants to see that how much you have learned very nicely, this kind of people also comes, and they wants to see you, they wants to check whether you know each and everything or not, or you have only written that one, or you have learned that one. So at that time, since I had learned that particular formula, I knew how to explain that particular formula. I wrote that formula on the board and I explained that formula in a nice manner. So they told me good. So it was a positive point for my slideshow. Okay. So if there are mathematical formulas in your PPT presentation, try to know the whole thing. That is, try to learn that mathematical formula nicely, and you can explain that nicely. It's very important. Okay, so it's also very important. Mathematical formulas are very important. If you have so many mathematical formulas, if slide by slide you have mathematical formula, suppose this topic, this subtopic, this contains a mathematical formula, then explain that in that particular your slide. If there are so many mathematical formulas which are not for the particular subtopic but for my whole topic, then make another slide where you can write those mathematical formula. Try to give some examples so that it will be easy for them to understand. My project was on cryptography. So in that particular project, when I have given the project about cryptography, at that time what I have done, I have also made a particular slide, and there were so many mathematical formulas of the RSA algorithm. So at that time I have taken an example and given I have shown the whole RSA algorithm in one slide, and I was explaining the thing in another slide where I explained that with some numbers, okay, some numericals. So with an example I explained that RSA formula, so RSA algorithm. So it was very important. There asymmetric cryptography, symmetric cryptography, each and everything was on one slide. With the help of pictures also I have to show that one, and many other things were included in my seminar show. So you have also to keep in mind that if mathematical formulas are there, you have to learn those mathematical formulas. You cannot skip that one. Maybe you are not including that thing in your PPT. Maybe you are skipping that one. Okay, I am not giving that in my PPT, then the person will not know. If the person is from that particular domain, he will obviously ask you the mathematical formula. He will ask you the mathematical formula. Okay, and at that time, neither you will have that in your PPT, and neither you have the knowledge of that one. So that will be a negative point. don't give any chance to the person that he will ask you something and you are standing still. It's a very bad thing in your PPT presentation. If someone is asking you, you have the answer. This is the perfect one. So mathematical formulas are very important. In my particular career, I have seen that mathematical formulas are very much important. Okay, now there are two kinds of PPT. One is for your particular examinations, that particular topic are given, and one is your project PPT. I will make another your particular video on project PPT, how you are going to explain the project PPT and how you will make the project of your final semester, maybe the fourth semester, your 8th semester of your BTech or your 4th semester of your MTech. How we will make the particular project so that you will get a nice marks, which I have got O in both of my projects. So how you will get that one, I will tell you also in another video. But today I just want to tell you, if it's a normal topic, that is your normal semester PPT store, where you have given some topics and you have to write on that one, so it should not be very much huge. Okay, it should not be very lengthy, because no person is they are not interested in a lengthy seminar show, right? But when it's a project seminar show or it's a project PPT, then at that particular PPT it should be lengthy one, because you are going to explain your whole last semester project, your whole year's project, whatever thing you have done. So it's very important that you have to explain that one. But here it's not very necessary to explain the whole things. Okay, they also will not give you so much time. Maybe we have been given 15 minutes only for a particular slide, so for a particular for a particular group. Okay, so for these kind of semester PPTs, you have to make not so lengthy, not lengthy. Okay, but if your is the particular thing is of your project PPT, then obviously it should be lengthy, not so lengthy, but it should be up to, suppose it should be up to 20 to 25 slides should be there, right? If they are giving you some particular range that yes, up to this number of slides, then you have to maintain that one. If they are not giving you any range, then you can give up to 25 slides, you can give in your PPT for your project one. But that is your final year project. But for these particular semester PPTs, when you are given for a particular topic, you can maintain that up to 15 slides is very means you don't need to explain so much about that topic, just about the topic and some research have been done on this particular thing or not, and something in a very brief manner. They will not ask you about many things, but if it's a project one, they will ask you many questions, right? Now next is, these are the points. Now next point is your viva. Okay, viva means after the project which is asked, the question answer session. Okay, the Q&A session. So this session is very important. First of all, you have to be very confident. People, what they do, many times what happens, two things happens. One, whenever you are going to tell, you are just explaining the PPT, at that time the person will ask you some question. You are explaining that particular thing. If you are explaining nicely, it's okay. They will just stop you in the middle only, or maybe they will ask you some more questions, and that's all. No further question answer round is done. Others, what they do, they will see the whole PPT presentation and then they will start asking you questions. This is generally done when it is for the project PPT. But normal PPT, what they do, in between only they will ask you some questions and you have to give the answer, that's all. If in between these two things, if you from your particular PPT they are asking you any question, then it is easier, since you are on the PPT and whenever you are on the particular slide, the whole thing that comes in your mind, you are explaining about the physical layer, then whatever things are about the physical layer, that is in your mind. Whenever they are asking the question, concentrate on the question, try to understand the question and then give your answer. It's not important that your answer should be lengthy one, it should be point to point answer. First, listen what they are asking you and try to give the to the point answer you try to give. Not give a lengthy one. If you will give a lengthy answer, then again they will ask you some question from that answer only. It is what happened to me, it was there, it is my experience. Okay, so try to give to the point answer, 1-2 words or maybe a sentence, that's all. Again, if it's a question answer session after your whole thing and it is about your project, then you have to explain. Since your project, whatever thing you have done, you only know that one, that is new for that person who is judging you. It's new for those invigilators because you are making this particular thing, you are making a particular software. So what you have done, that is only known to you. So that particular thing you have to tell them, you have to explain them. At that time you have to explain each and every point, whatever they are asking you, you have to give them those points, right? So these two are very important for your viva. In between they take, and one after the thing, that is the question answer session. But if it is for the normal semester examinations, you are giving a PPT for a particular topic, then it's okay, whatever question they are asking, try to give to the point answer. If it is for your project one, then you have to give a detailed answer, so that the person who is asking you, they doesn't knows what you have done in your project. So you have to explain them so that they will have the whole knowledge about the particular project. Okay, so viva is also very important, very very important. Since whenever you are giving the project, when I have given my project PPT, at that time in the question answer session, many questions were asked, and for those people who are giving the project PPT, one point is very important, that is what you are going to do afterwards. This is what you have done in this PPT, this is my project, what I have done in my project. But afterwards, is there anything which I want to do? Okay, any work which I want to do, that is my further ideas or further work which I want to do. This should be in a slide. It's very important. Okay, for those of the last year project, that is the last year project, when you are giving your whole final year project, and with those people you have to give a slide. In that slide you have to give your further ideas, what you want to do. This thing you have done now, further what you want to do, any kind of inventions or any kind of ideas which you have in your mind, and you want to do that further work, whatever you want to do on that particular slide, on that particular project, you have to give that also in a slide. It is a very good idea to give that one. Okay, that is your proposed work, or your further work, what you want to do further. It's very important. In my time also, I have done my project in fingerprinting. Okay, so that was of biometric, and when I have given that in my digital image processing, that was my topic, and it was on fingerprinting. Okay, and that time what I have done in that project, I have given a further proposed work also, what I will do next in this project. So it is very important, and it was a good point which I have given, and that the person, the investigator who came, and he appreciated that, yes, if you can do that one, obviously it's a appreciated one. My project was also appreciated, and my topic with the further work which I shown, that was also appreciated. So you have to give that further work. If something is missing in your project, what is the trick? If something is missing in your project, you have made the project, whole project, if you think that these points, within the time I have not done these points, I have not included these points, good enough, you just give those points in your proposed work. If you have done this much, okay, I am not satisfied, maybe I would have given this point also, but due to shortage of time, I have not included this point in this project. So don't worry, give that in your proposed work. That will also give you a positive mark. Okay, you just have not to get nervous that these points, this route, I have also done this thing in my project also, but I have not included that one. Okay, so You just give that thing in your proposed work or in your further work, what you want to do. It will add to your marks. It will not give you any negative marks. It will add to your marks, right? So this is also very important for those who are on the last sem, that is your final year project. Proposed work or your further work is very important, what you are going to do further. Okay, so these are all points which are very important, and these are the tricks also which you can use in your PPT presentation, and it will, I am 100% sure it will give you a good marks, right? And what is the 10th point that is very important? That is your bibliography, means the last slide, which will include the sources from where you have obtained the knowledge. Now, in this point, it is very important. This slide is also very important. Why it's important? In this slide, what people do, what students do, they sometimes they write, they just see the name of the books from the slide. Someone had made the slide on OSI model. They just took the slide, and what they do, from that slide they copy the whole bibliography and then paste that one on their PPT. Those books names which have been written on those particular slide, maybe they don't know about the book also, they don't have the idea. Don't try to make this kind of mistake, never. Whatever books you have consulted, whatever sites you have consulted, just write the name of those things only. Don't try to copy anything from others. In our class, some people, they have run that bibliography and they have copy pasted something from another slide, and when the person who was checking, he was checking in such a way that he has asked them that this particular book is a very nice book, what you have, which point you have taken from that book, and this was the point which gave them a negative point. The whole seminar show, the whole PPT presentation was very good enough to get them a good marks, but that particular thing just gave them a negative one. So don't make those mistakes. Whenever you are given a slideshow, you are making the whole PPT, obviously you will be consulting some books, obviously you will be consulting some research papers. Research papers are also very important, right? Research papers, they are also very important to write when you are giving the whatever things have been done. When you are doing the research, read the research papers, good research papers, and you will obviously you will have a huge knowledge about what inventions or what discoveries have been done in this particular time nowadays, right? So that is also very important. So those research paper, write the name of those research papers or write the name of those books which you have consulted. If you have not consulted anything, you have got the idea from internet itself, write the source as internet only. That will be enough, good enough. Don't try to just copy paste from another people's slide. Okay, just write your own idea. Whatever thing, seminar show or slideshow is not any huge thing. Okay, it's very simple one if you will take it as a simple one. It will be very complicated if you will make it complicated. It's on your hands only to make a PPT presentation easier for you as well as for the investigator. They are not there to eat you, right? They are there to just check your knowledge. You have the knowledge, don't bother to other things. Just go to the seminar room. You should be confident. Your English may be good enough, maybe not good enough. Don't worry. Just if you know the topic, you can give a good PPT presentation without any hesitation, right? Be confident. Give your PPT presentation in a very good, nice manner, and give the question answers. Take some time. If you don't have the answer with you, take some time. Your answer is with you. Your answer is ready with you. You have read the whole topic. You have researched on the whole topic, seen research papers, seen books. You have learned everything. You have the answer with you only. But maybe the answer is a little bit late, but the answer is with you. Don't think that what they will ask and if the answer is not with me, don't think that one. answer is with you. You have learned the whole topic, answer is with you. Just try to recapitulate what you have studied. Each and every answer you will be able to give, each and every answer of your Viva. Whatever thing will be asked to you in the question answer session or the middle session, each and every answer you can give the answers of each and every question, and I am 100% sure. So this is the whole thing, and these are my tricks which I have used in my examination, and I have scored a good marks, and I will be happy if you also get a good marks. And so, but just main thing, you have to be confident. Main thing is you have to be confident, and you can take these points in your PPT and comment me if these points helps you. I will be very helpful, and I am very happy that you have given me so many comments. I have seen your comments. I am very happy to see those comments, and obviously I will be very happier if you write that these points have helped you in the examination. It will be my pleasure. So till then, just have some good seminar, okay, or good PPT presentation. My best of luck is for you, and next class we will study about our networking topics again, okay. Till then, take care and goodbye.